In the year 2000 BBY, the Fourth Great Schism occurred. The Jedi Order became splintered once again, just as it had many times in history, and as time passed, the rebirth of the Sith had come, and the new Sith Empire was born. The 1,000-year-long war between the Republic, the Jedi, and the new Sith raged in a numerous amount of ways, from small conflicts to giant battles. But the new Sith War, as it was known across the galaxy, became drawn out, lasting for a long period of time, with many different leaders emerging as the Dark Lord. However, 750 years after its beginning, the Sith were beginning to wane, as were the Republic, and a subset war known as the Sictis Wars began. The Sith themselves were lacking leadership, so a shape-shifting Shi'do woman known only as Belia Darzu rose to the top, taking the mantle of Dark Lord of the Sith. Unlike those before her, Belia chose not to take up a Darth title in her leadership, and waged a war against the Jedi and the Republic in a way that differed from the usual standard of the Sith. Belia Darzu herself was an extremely talented Sith alchemist, studying techniques that had been lost to history in order to apply them to a future that she had envisioned. This vision didn't necessarily incorporate millions of Sith fighting for supremacy. Instead, Belia had discovered an ancient Force technique known as Meku Daru. Meku Daru hadn't been seen in the galaxy for many years due to its kind of taboo nature, but the application of Meku Daru allowed one to apply the Force in a way that could control mechanical systems. Belia, after her many discoveries, combined the use of her Sith alchemy and Meku Daru to create a unique little nanogene droid which would pierce through the flesh of a target and begin to infect them on a biological level. This infection would then consume their flesh and replace it with mechanized tumors that would come under her complete control and take over their complete body with a mechanized system. The beast that came as a result of this virus would then completely become subservient to Belia, becoming what would be known as the Technobeast. This completely new technique that she had formed became known as Meku Daru Vitae, a completely brand new subsect created solely by her. By the year 1250 BBY, Belia constructed a hidden fortress on the planet Tython to act as her operating base for her intended war, and within the walls of the fortress that she had built, she used a variety of laboratories to experiment on those that were unfortunate enough to have been caught. Belia applied the Meku Daru Vitae Technovirus on those within the walls, and created an entire army of Technobeasts that she intended to unleash upon the galaxy. Using these brand new form of Sith spawn, she reorganized the Technobeasts into the Metanachron army, who acted as the front line against both the Republic and the Jedi, and were under her and only hers complete and utter control, and the Technobeasts were also capable of spreading the infection to other potential hosts, making them an unbelievable threat in any battles with organic species. With Belia now leading the remains of the Sith with an infectious army, the Sictis Wars truly began. Every single battle lost for the Republic and the Jedi was more than just a loss for them against Belia Darzu. The armies of her enemies were assimilated into her own, and survivors became test subjects for more and more of her dastardly experiments within the walls of the Tython fortress. However, despite Darzu's success, her reign would be short, a reign that, like many Sith, came to a crashing end due to betrayal and broken promises. Belia, in her time as Dark Lord, had established an alliance with the Macrosa Order of assassins in the Topani sector. However, Belia, at one point during her reign, had led some form of incursion within the sector, invoking the wrath of the Macrosa Order. Because of this, they then plotted to assassinate the Dark Lord of the Sith in an act of vengeance. Additionally, the Sith that followed her became disillusioned with Belia's ways. The Technobeast armies that led their success were completely under her control, and this led to much anger and infighting, which caused many of her followers to join with the Macrosa and assist with the Dark Lord's assassination. Belia herself was completely focused on her Technobeast armies, her experiments, and the Sictis Wars. However, she was completely unaware of what was about to come, and in 1230 BBY, on Tython within the very confines that she had conducted her experiments, she was murdered. And without a clear successor, the Sith eventually destroyed themselves, unable to use the Technobeast armies that were under Belia's control and were leading them to victories. The hidden fortress of Belia Darzu was then lost, and for the next several hundred years, the remaining Technobeasts that had survived were stuck within the fortress, wandering the dark halls without any direction, merely existing without any order. They often congregated around Belia Darzu's holocron, the last vestige of her power and strength that they could feel and connect to. However, by the year 990 BBY, the hidden fortress was discovered by Darth Bane, who came looking for a holocron in an attempt to learn how to build his own. But the holocron was guarded by the centuries-old army of Sith spawn that had remained wandering aimlessly, and despite battling against the Sith Lord, even attempting to infect him with the virus itself, Darth Bane was able to overcome the survivors of the Metanachron army, using his Orbalisk armor to stop the spores from spreading within his body, and he obliterated what remained of the Technobeasts, and finally brought an end to the horrors the Belia had created centuries ago. Darth Bane then did indeed discover what he was looking for, learning much from Belia Darzu's holocron, which did indeed harbour the secret of creating one for himself, as well as a numerous amount of philosophical and interesting teachings that allowed Darth Bane to rise. And despite her relatively short time as leader of the Sith, Belia Darzu's impact was felt for thousands of years, and her ideals, power and teachings were respected and became prized possessions for those willing enough to venture into her history. And who knows what may have happened to the Republic and the Jedi if Belia was not betrayed, and her Technobeast armies continued to rampage across the galaxy. But as always, it was the sabotage of their own leader that denied the Sith the opportunity to crush the Republic. How ironic. Belia Darzu first appeared in one of the old role-playing toolbooks back in 2001, however her official story and her lore was introduced in the Darth Bane trilogy by Drew Karpyshyn. Also, interestingly enough, the new Sith Wars, which was the overarching war that the Sictis War found itself within, is actually in canon, so it's quite possible that Belia Darzu may be introduced into canon at some point in the future. Who knows? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see more Knights of the Old Republic and Star Wars content from me. Also, don't forget to come and follow me on Twitter, Instagram and join the Discord server because I would love to have you there. And if you'd like to support the channel further, perhaps consider taking a look at Patreon. All links are in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, may the Force be with you. Always.